it is the biggest show on the tour, Palace of Auburn Hills, where the Chicago Bulls play. Sold out, 12,000 people in advance. And we're playing somewhere in Michigan, like a small, like suburb. And we're sitting there, and we're getting ready to, we're partying after the show, and Dimebag's walking around with a gallon of Crown Royal and a gallon of 7-Up. And he's just walking up to people like behind them, just like grabbing them behind their head, just making people do shots, and everybody's getting hammered, and he gets me a couple times, and I got a bunch of fireworks, and I'm blowing up fireworks, and it's a crazy night. But you know, it's a big show, so about 1:30, I'm like, fuck, I gotta go hide from Dimebag, man. Like, I'm getting hammered here, and I got a big show, so I go on the bus and I go to bed, and about 5:30 in the morning I wake up and I go to take a piss in my bus, and I kind of peek out the window of where I'm at, and I look out the window, and there's this guy stripped down to nothing but his tighty whities and his Chuck Taylors, and he's standing on top of a Volkswagen Bug going just doing backflops on the top of this some poor son of a bitch's Volkswagen Bug. And I sit there, and he's got a couple people around him, and they're just all annihilated. And I'm sitting there, and it's like a scene out of a Quentin Tarantino movie. It just goes on and on and on, and you're like, wow, what the fuck am I watching here? So I go to bed, and I wake up the next day, and it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And as I'm getting off my bus, he's getting off his bus, and I'm like, oh, hey, brother, what's going on? And he's like, fucking wiped out, just fucking can't even talk. And I'm like, wow, he hasn't stopped drinking. And everybody on the Pantera crew comes up, and they're like, whatever you do, don't give Dimebag a drink. He's fucking, it's like lockdown. Everybody's freaking, he'll be kicked off the tour. So we're like, holy shit, like the band's pissed. And so we're coming around, and so as it's getting closer to showtime, I always have like a ritual where I go check out the band before us, just to see like what's going on and see how like the vibe of the crowd is. And I go up there, and Dimebag's on the other side of the stage, and I'm sitting there, and he's like fucking rocking out with the band, and he's kind of just doing, and he just fucking walks out on stage and starts air guitaring, just they're like, oh, hey, look, it's Dimebag Darrell, everybody. And the crowd goes crazy. And he just stays up there for the rest of the song, air guitaring, and then walks over onto my side now. And he kind of looks over, and he kind of gives this, like, cockeyed grin over at me, kind of peeking at him, just like, hey. And he's like, his eye lands, like, over on my guitar boat. And he sits there, and I see him, and he kind of looks at me, and he gives me that eye again, and he's like, goes over to my guitar boat, and he pulls out my backup guitar, and he puts it on, and he's just standing there on the side of the stage, just like, and again, he walks out on stage, not plugged in, just goes out on stage, and he's, hey, it's Dimebag Darrell again, ladies and gentlemen, give it a crowd goes crazy, and he sits there as rocking. They end the song, it's their last song, and so as the big finale to the song, he sits there and he takes my guitar, and he goes, smashes it on the ground, and I'm like, dude, what the fuck? There's like there's no even talking to the dude, so he goes off, and I'm like, fuck. So we got 10 minutes to get on. I go on stage, I don't break a string, I don't even need the guitar, and so it goes fine, and so we're all kind of waiting in the wings, like, we're gonna, it's a train wreck, this is gonna be crazy to everybody's freaking out. We go and we watch this show, and if I would not have seen this with my own eyes, I never would have believed it. He got up there and played a flawless fucking show. I mean, didn't miss a fucking note. Every lead, he's sitting there in between songs playing Kansas. Rain and Blood. I was like, what the, like, who can do this? So the next day, we pull up to the next show, and eventually they get him off the bed, and he wakes up, and it just so happens that, again, as I'm getting out of my bus, he's getting out of his bus. He's got a gallon of, this time, Pedialyte to quench his thirst there, and I walk up to him like, oh, hey, brother, what's going on? And he's just like, oh, fuck, dude. And I'm like, hey, do you kind of remember what happened last night? Kind of, my guitar, he's like, oh my God, really? He feels super, apologizes like 20 times. He gives me $300 to fix the guitar, and it was like a $150 guitar. So I was like, dude, this is too much. Like, just, it's fine, just whatever, just take care of it and get it fixed. And he's like, oh, I'm super sorry. So about a week later, we're in Chicago. And I'm on stage, and I'm getting ready to announce the last song, and I feel this tap on my shoulder, and I hear, hey, carjacker. He called me carjacker for just long story. And he sits there and he goes, hey man, check it out. And he's like, gets on the mic, he's like, I broke my bro's guitar here the other day, man, when I was all hammered, and so right now I'm gonna give him, he gave me his prototype of his brand new Washburn dime bolt that hadn't even come out. They were just getting ready to launch his very first guitar line in his history, and he fucking literally just gave me this. I mean, he'd already given me the money. And he gave me a guitar, and that is the type of dude that he was, man. That is the type of dude that Dimebag was, and I know everybody misses him. I miss him a lot. I'm sure everybody here in the fucking metal community misses him a lot because he was one of a kind. And right now I want to do a song because I miss him, man. And this song is a Pink Floyd song called "Wish You Were Here."